hand. He was his supporter. This is why you find many of the Imams, for example, Imam al-Hussein role during Imam al-Hassan's life. They are supporters of one another. Because the Imam now, this is his Imamah, they don't interfere. They don't interfere in the sense they don't have their own ruling, of course. What they do is they are supporters of the Imam. You find Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi during the peace treaty with Muawiyah, Imam al-Hassan's peace treaty with Muawiyah, for example, Imam al-Hussein was there and he supported Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba. Even after the martyrdom of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi, he supported the peace treaty until Muawiyah passed away. When Muawiyah passed away, according to the peace treaty, here Muawiyah had no right to appoint anyone after himself. So Yazid had no right to be the second in line. So this is where Imam Hussein comes up and he talks and he starts his revolution. مثل لا يبايع مثله. Muawiyah had no right to appoint Yazid. Yazid is such and such, and the whole revolution of Imam Hussein started by then. So you find the Imams, they support one another during the lifetime of the previous Imam. We find this with Imam al-Baqir and Imam al-Sadiq. You find this with Imam Zayn al-Abidin, Ali afdal salati wassalam, and Imam al-Hussein. They are supporters. They support the ruling, the actions of the Imam. So Imam Ali ibn Talib, when he enters the battle of the camel, the battle of Jamal, Imam Hassan is there. He gives the raya, he gives the banner to his son Muhammad ibn Hanafiya. Muhammad goes and he sees there is a large number of archers and soldiers. He can't get to the camel. He comes back, and then the Imam looks at him and he says, yes, you are truly the son of your mother. You have my blood, but you are not the son of Rasulullah. Because of that, you came back. So he takes the raya, he takes the banner, and he gives it to Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba, and he says, you go. Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba, he runs toward the camel. The hadith says, some of the soldiers, some of the companions of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, they say to Imam al-Hassan, wait, we join you. Imam al-Hassan doesn't even listen to them. He just runs toward them. So it shows that Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba, salamullah alayhi, obeys his father because he's the Imam of his time. Yeah. They don't take any ruling, any action by themselves. They follow the ruling, the actions, and the guidelines of the Imams before them. So this is why you find during the Imam Ali era, Imam al-Hassan salamullah alayhi follows what his father, Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullah alayhi, puts in front of him. And he follows that. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib is striked, and we are getting near those days. The martyrdom of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, you find that Imam al-Hassan comes more into action. Imam Hassan, his role started to appear more. Yeah. That Imam Ali tells him that you are after me, and Imam Ali takes his hand, and so on and so forth. He gives him the wasiyah, he gives him the will. But during his lifetime, Imam Ali ibn Talib, we find Imam Hassan right beside him. Imam al-Hussein right beside him. His right hand and his left hand are Imam al-Hassan, Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi. Like the role of Imam Ali during the lifetime of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Imam Ali followed Rasulullah. As Imam Ali himself said, I was to Rasulullah like a she-camel to its mother. I don't know if you've seen a she-camel following the mother. He said, I was to Rasulullah like the she-camel to the mother. I follow Rasulullah whenever he goes, and I'm under him, under his guideline, under his actions. Whatever Rasulullah commands me to do, I follow him. And Imam Ali's role started after the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You find more of the books telling his story. The book Sirat Ahlul Bayt by Sheikh Baqir Sharif al-Qurashi. It's a great book. He authored this book. There is English translation to it as well. He spent 51 years writing, authoring this book, bringing it together. 51 years. And if you look into the life of Imam al-Hasan Salamullah alayhi, you find there is one volume of it, just one volume, unfortunately. When it comes to Imam Hussein, you'll find 3 to 4 volumes. It's unfortunate, but this is what we have from him.
It's kind of sad. Most people, when they look at the Imams, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, Imam Hassan's the forgotten Imam. That's one of his, I guess, poetic names, you could say. Whereas people always remember Imam Hussein. And as you were saying earlier, many people say Imam Hussein, no, he stood up and fought against injustice. Imam Hassan, he didn't do anything. Whereas there's deeper wisdom in that, which a lot of people don't look at or forget. But what you were saying is truly amazing, how the Imams sort of are loyal to their Imam. Like Imam Hassan was loyal to Imam Ali before it was his time. And then when Imam Ali passed, it was Imam Hassan's time to lead his Ahsan.
No.
And now if you want to delve into more of Imam Hassan's time and his whole relationship, the way he dealt with Muawiyah, because a lot of people say that Muawiyah was the more dominant figure during this time. No, it was Imam Hassan. Some people say that Muawiyah broke the treaty. Some people say that he didn't break the treaty until Imam Hassan passed away. Based off what you studied and your readings, please enlighten us on this topic.
Inshallah. First, I want to shed a light to who Muawiyah was. Muawiyah is different than Yazid. Yazid, if you look in his lifetime, Yazid was reckless. Yazid, when he came into power, he did many things that even Muawiyah told him not to do. Yazid did not make any right choices. Yazid, in that 3 years that he was the so-called Khalifa, Yazid killed Imam al-Hussein Salamullah alayhi on the first year. Second year, he burned the Kaaba. And the third year, he attacked Medina and he killed the people in Medina. So the companions in Medina. So Yazid ibn Muawiyah is different than Muawiyah. Muawiyah was a man or politician. He knew how to play the game. Muawiyah knew how to play it in a way that, look, I am the one who is, a victim, and you have to look what's happening to me. I am Khalul Mu'mineen, I am Katibul Wahi, so on and so forth. What Imam Hassan wanted to do, Imam al-Hassan wanted to expose Muawiyah. So Muawiyah, after what he saw from the companions of Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba, that every one of them, they are willing to bring Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba to Muawiyah. One of them wrote to to Muawiyah that we bring you Imam al-Hassan arrested. We will bring you Hasan ibn Ali shackled. We give him to you, and you do whatever you want to do with Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba. And we're talking here about companions of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba. So Muawiyah found this to be a great opportunity. What do I do with this? Do I fight Hasan ibn Ali? I don't want any more wars. What I want to do is solve it. And I wanted to keep everything as it is. Because Muawiyah knew if he fights Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba, he will lose the war. And Imam Hassan said it himself. He said, I will fight him with whatever I have, and I will win the war. But Muawiyah didn't want that, because he knows that Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba is a brave warrior. There's no one braver than him. And his companions, the ones that are left, he cannot challenge them. So Muawiyah wrote to Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba. He said to him, I think it's the best that we go through peace treaty, sulh. And he sent to Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba a paper. Under it, he had stamped and he had signed. And he said to Imam al-Hassan, a blank paper, he said to Imam al-Hassan, write your conditions. Whatever you desire, I'm willing to give it to you. So he went through that. He sent it to Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba, and he said to Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, this is in your best interest. And I think with what I see from your companions is that you cannot fight me. Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba, after what he saw from his companions, from the betrayal, and they're not there to support him, and the numbers are dropping, he said, well, the best thing is to expose Muawiyah. And this was the beginning of Imam Hussein revolution. This was the beginning of Imam Hussein revolution. So Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba wrote to Muawiyah 8 conditions. 8. The first one was that Muawiyah must rule the Islamic empire, the Muslims, according to, see, the wording of Imam Hassan is very, very carefully put into place, according to the Quran and the traditions of the rightful Khulafa. Rightful Khulafa. He's very careful, rightful Khulafa. So who's the rightful Khulafa? Who's the one who had the right to be a Khalifa? Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullah alayhi. According to the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the rightful Khulafa. So that was the first condition. And the second condition was that Muawiyah has no right to harm any of the followers, the Shia of Ahlul Bayt salamullah alayhi. He has no right to harm them in any way. Take their any of their positions or attack and kill them, take their houses, their cattle, or whatever. So he has no right to do that. He must leave them safe and let them live their lives in a safety. That was the second condition. The third one, that Muawiyah must give money to the ones, the victims of Siffin and the victims of the war. That shows what? That Muawiyah was at fault. The wording is very carefully put. Imam Hassan knows what he's doing. He's writing that you must pay them. Pay the families of what you did with their fathers. You made them orphans, so you have to pay them this amount. And this amount must be paid every year. So that shows that you were at fault. Another condition of Imam al-Hassan. Imam Hassan now is going into very detailed, very important part of this, that he says, Muawiyah has no right, as I mentioned, to appoint anyone after himself. And then Imam Hassan continues, after Imam al-Hassan, if Imam Hassan dies, Imam Hassan is writing this, if Imam al-Hassan passes away, Muawiyah must give the Khilafah to Hussein ibn Ali after Imam Hassan passes away, not to any of his sons, not to Yazid ibn Muawiyah. So this was another condition.
He wrote it clearly in the treaty to Hussein ibn Ali, Imam Hussein.
Ahsan. Because Imam Hassan knows that there's going to be plotting against his life. He's going to be killed. So Imam Hassan writes it very carefully. You rarely find people, unfortunately, they go into the conditions of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba. What he's doing is he's exposing Muawiyah. He's bringing Muawiyah under the microscope. He's showing who Muawiyah exactly is. And Imam al-Hassan writes it here. He says, after me, if I pass away, and I know you're going to be plotting against me, you're going to kill me, the Khilafah must go to Hussein ibn Ali. You have no right to appoint anyone after yourself. No one must be appointed after yourself. If you choose to appoint your son, he has no right to be a Khalifa. So, and Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba continues, Muawiyah has no right to plot against me or my family, to kill them or do anything bad to them. So those are some of the conditions Imam Hassan, he wrote down, and then he gave it to the messenger. He took it to Muawiyah. Muawiyah looked into it. What Imam Hassan did was, Imam Hassan, he put him in a box. This is it. This is going to be used, and that's it. Now, so Muawiyah, he said, okay, well, I agreed to them, but of course I'm not going to abide to them. As you mentioned, Muawiyah did not abide to, sorry, there is another condition I just forgot to mention, is that Muawiyah must stop the cursing of Ali on the Manabir.
Yes.
Some of the A'da, the enemies, they said, the Shia, we are the ones cursing the so on and so forth. And we started this tradition of cursing. No, it's not. Muawiyah is the one who started it. And Muawiyah, he cursed Amir al-Mu'mineen on the Manabir for 80 years. It's because of Muawiyah this started. They were standing, the khutaba, the so-called public speakers, the preachers, and they were cursing Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullah alayhi on the Manabir for 8 years until the lifetime of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. When he came to Umar ibn Abdul Aziz era, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, he stopped it because he said, who are you cursing? They said, Ali. Who is Ali? Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali? Yes. The cousin of Rasulullah? Yes. The father of Hasan and Hussein? So that was his question. You cursing Ali, the father of Hasan and Hussein, the cousin of Rasulullah, the conqueror of Khaybar, so on. They said, yes, yes. He said, how dare you curse Ali? Stop it. So it is mentioned in the books of history that women came and they told him that how could you stop this? We had nadr. I don't know if you, we all have nadr of al-Baneen. We say 100 salawat if you give me such and such, if I pass this test, if I get my learner's license, if I start to drive, if I buy this car, we have this, we say that. So the Imam Salamullah alayhi was cursed for 80 years, until the lifetime of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. One of the conditions of Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba was this, that you stop the cursing of my father. Yeah. You don't mention my father in bad things, you mention him in good when you stand there. Even in the books of history, it's mentioned when Imam Zayn al-Abidin Ali ibn al-Hussein entered Sham and he sat down and the preacher was ordered by Yazid to go on the minbar. He started cursing Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Talib. He started cursing Fatima al-Zahra, Imam al-Hasan, Imam al-Hussein. To which Imam Zayn al-Abidin said to Yazid, let me go up there on the woods, because this is not a minbar. Minbar is where you say the hadith of Ahl al-Bayt, you praise Ahl al-Bayt, you praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me go on these woods, ala hadhihi al-a'wad, so for me to say something that I make Allah please, and it is benefits for these people. So that was another conditions of Imam Hasan al-Mujtaba, that you stop the cursing of Ali ibn Abi Talib. And Muawiyah, when he looked into this, we go back, Muawiyah looked into it, well, I agreed to all of them. As per your question, he did not abide to any of them. Muawiyah did not go through any of them. And Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, what he did was, he went on the minbar after this, and he said to the people, ما قاتلتكم لكي تصوموا ولا تصلوا ولا تزكوا. I did not fight for you to go pray or to go fast or to pay zakat. قاتلتكم لكي أتأمر عليكم. I fought you so I can become your king, for me to rule you, and I'm here to rule you. So Imam Hasan al-Mujtaba, he paved the road for Imam al-Husayn's revolution. Imam al-Hussein, after the demise of Imam al-Hassan, as I said, Imam Hussein did not change any of these conditions. Imam Hussein kept them as they are. And Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi, until the death of Muawiyah. When Muawiyah passed away, you find Muawiyah passed away in mid-Rajab. Mid-Rajab, Muawiyah died. And then Imam Hussein started. Imam Hussein, you can see him talking. All those years, Imam Hussein was silent. He didn't say anything, because of his respect to Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba peace treaty. And then Imam al-Hussein started, and Imam al-Hussein said, no, I'm not going to go under the ruling of Yazid ibn Muawiyah, مثل لا يبايع مثله هيهات من الدلة. And Imam al-Hussein started his revolution, that is the greatest revolution that mankind has witnessed. So Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba, what he did was expose him. He showed his true face, and that is a great thing to do, with not many of the companions. Above this all, it shows that Imam al-Hasan was truly a mazlum, because by the companions, he was put into this situation that he has to go through the peace treaty. After this, they call him what? Assalamu alayka ya mudilla al-mu'minin. So it shows how mazlum this Imam was, that after all these, you are the one who betrayed me, you are the one who forsaken me, you are the one who left me, yet you call me Assalamu alayka ya mudilla al-mu'minin. This is why Imam al-Baqir salamullah alayhi says in his hadith, ما فعله الحسن بن علي. This is a riwayah hadith from Imam al-Baqir. ما فعله الحسن بن علي خير مما طلعت عليه الشمس أو غربت. What Imam Hasan ibn Ali al-Mujtaba did, it's better than what the sun shines on. It's for the best interest of mankind. The Imam al-Hasan went into peace treaty with Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. Imam Hasan is man of war. Imam Hasan has no problem to go and fight Muawiyah, and he wanted to do.
Imam al-Hasan, he was, correct me if I'm wrong, he was also given the title of Mu'izz al-Mu'minin.
Mu'izz al-Mu'minin, ahsantum. Because of that, Yes.
Yeah. So what would you say? Why was he given that? Because at the same time, you just said, people called him Mudhil al-Mu'minin. So what actions, examples, in his life, stories that can portray that he gave honor to the believers? He was the honor of the believers.
Imam Hassan himself said it. He said when he was called by one of his companions, it is narrated that who called him this, if I tell you, you will be surprised, by Hijr ibn Uday. Hijr ibn Uday was a true companion. And after this, he repented. He said, I am truly sorry. I didn't mean it like that. And he came to the Imam asking for his forgiveness. Hijr ibn Uday, he was killed by Muawiyah. Imam Hassan himself said this to Hijr ibn Uday and the companions that were sitting in the mosque, that what I did, I saved your lives. Because Muawiyah, what he wanted to do, wanted to annihilate all the companions of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. He wanted to kill all the Shia. That was the intention of Muawiyah. What I did with the peace treaty, I stopped everything. So Muawiyah has no right to kill anyone. After this, in a couple of months, you find what happened to Hijr ibn Uday, that he's going with his son and some of the companions. They go on a road trip. When they find some of the soldiers of Muawiyah, they stop them and they say to them, well, you are the companions, you are the Shia of Ali, you must curse Ali or we kill you. And they all refuse. They all refuse. So Hijr ibn Uday, what he says here is, Hijr ibn Uday, he tells them, kill my son before me. Kill my son before me. And the soldiers, they say to him, how come every father wants his son to, be safe? Right. And yet you tell us to kill your son before you? He says, yes, because I want to make sure he dies as a believer, as a follower of Ali ibn Abi Talib. And they refuse. They all refuse. And they are killed unjustly because of the love to Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Talib. So Imam al-Hassan, he said it himself. He said, what I did with Muawiyah is to save your life. The person I mentioned his name, Busr ibn Artat. Busr ibn Artat, he entered a city of the Shia of Ahl al-Bayt. This is in the lifetime of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. Yeah. And it is narrated that he killed 3,000 of the followers of Ali ibn Abi Talib. 3,000. Of the followers of Ali ibn Talib. This number, in today's calculation, you might say, well, that is not that much. One explosive here, a couple of machine guns, and that's it. We're talking about swords, and you have to get them in line, and you have to kill them. It is mentioned that Ahsan, and the way they killed them was horrific. The way they killed them was barbaric. That they said they bring long. This is what they did with the Shia of Ahl al-Bayt. Because you are a follower of Ahl al-Bayt, they kill you. Even today, in some countries, because you are a follower of Ali, you are sentenced to death. They bring long nails and they put them into their eyes until they fall down dead. This is Busr ibn Artat.
As if they're torturing them.
They tortured them and they killed them. Busr ibn Artat even killed two of Abdullah bin Abbas' sons. Yet Abdullah bin Abbas betrayed the Imam. So Imam al-Hassan said, this is what I did. I saved your lives. Muawiyah had the intention to annihilate you. This is what I did to keep the Shia. And this is one of the conditions that Imam Hasan al-Mujtaba, as I said, that you have no right to kill or harm any of the Shia of Ahl al-Bayt. You leave them as they are. And on top of that, you have to pay them. The ones they lost their families, you have to pay them. It was really a dark time for the Shia of Ahl al-Bayt. Imam Hasan al-Mujtaba, he stopped all this bloodshed. He let them grow.
Yes. So,
and the companions, now, the companions of Imam al-Hussein, how do you think they came to be? Even the numbers, the 72, is because Imam Hussein salamullah alayhi, Imam Hassan salamullah alayhi sacrificed. These companions, they came to be 72. And the world was ready for Imam Hussein revolution. If what Imam Hassan didn't do with the peace treaty, you find that Imam al-Hussein wouldn't even have that 72. Even that number wasn't given to Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi. But he prepared that. He prepared the revolution of Imam Hussein for it to be this great revolution.
So Imam al-Hassan, you would say that, given the circumstances of the time, and I guess the meaning of the sitting Imam, according to the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there's a sitting Imam and then there's a standing Imam. So Imam Hassan needed to preserve the faith, make sure no more Shia, especially the companions.